welcome to Sprintex ICSE. And I am Shweta Roy, your English master teacher at Vedantu. So today we will be dealing with a beautiful poem, nature poem, that is Daffodils. Okay, Daffodils by none other than our favorite William Wordsworth, right? So guys, all of you must be knowing about William Wordsworth. If you have not visited the video related to daffodils, then please do visit the video, because there I have talked at length about romantic poetry, romanticism, and the connection of the nature with romanticism, and what exactly is romanticism. It's not just nature poem, guys. It's more than that. It's a philosophy, right? So I have explained about all those. Please do visit the session related to this particular poem, so that you get a clear idea. And yes, I have always also mentioned about the four major romantic poets, four pillars of romanticism, that is Wordsworth, Keats, Shelley, and Byron. Okay, so this is definitely by Wordsworth, which one of the major romantic poems, one of poets, sorry, one of the major pillars of romanticism, one of the pillars of romanticism. Okay, so on in that backdrop, on that context, guys, I would like to tell you that I would be doing all the 3 marks and the 4 marks question just as it is asked in your papers. Okay, so please go through the poem very well and attend the session related to this particular poem, the Umang series that I have already uploaded. Please do attend that. I have clearly explained a lot of concepts as well, so that is very important to understand very deeply this poem, so that you can take points from there also, as and when it is useful. Okay, so guys, by now I think you know the schedule already. We're going to continue till 27th of Feb. That's going to be our last session for the Spring Text ICSE. And physics, math, they are going to continue. Physics and maths is going to continue till 26th. And SST, biochemistry, and English continuing till 27th of Feb. Okay. So before you begin with the session, please do hit the like button, share the video amongst your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you still haven't. So I would be beginning with, since I was talking about romanticism and romantic poetry to you all, so I would be beginning with a quote on romanticism by Jean-Paul. Okay, Jean-Paul Sartre. What does he say about romanticism? Romanticism is beauty without bounds. That means beauty knows no bounds. So yes, the romantics used to celebrate new beauty, the beautiful infinite. Okay, so they were definitely they were celebrating the beauty and beauty of nature. Okay, and as I told you, I have explained at length about romanticism. So please do visit the video related to this particular session, that is this particular poem. Okay, so moving on. So by now you've understood that definitely it's beauty, it's beautiful, infinite. Okay, it's beauty without bounds, right? And also there's a poem by Keats. Okay, I am forgetting the name of the. Okay, I'm forgetting the name of the poem, but he is celebrating beauty there. Okay, things I'll remember in the course of the session. Then I will be. It's related to beauty. I'm just forgetting the name. Anyways, I'll remember in the course of the session. Then I'll definitely let you know. Okay, guys. So let's begin the session with this homework question. Okay. So if you haven't been able to frame your answers, then please do read this. Okay, and frame your answers from taking points from this particular model answer. Let's move ahead with today's session, guys. Yeah, I remember the name of the poem. It's A Thing of Beauty. Okay, A Thing of Beauty is a joy forever. That's how the poem begins. Okay, that is not the title of the poem, but yes, you can take it as a title also. Okay, that the first line of the poem is taken as a title. Okay, A Thing of Beauty is a joy forever. That's the celebration of beauty. Okay, so that's by Keats. Thank God I remember. I have a very bad memory, so I keep on forgetting. Okay, so that's something which you should definitely read. I think it was there in CBSE grade 12 syllabus. I don't know whether it is now, it's there now or not, but it's a beautiful poem. Okay, since we are doing with a romantic poet, since we are dealing with a romantic poet here, I would like to cross refer to that poem also. If you read that poem, you can relate to the kind of the genre of romanticism. Okay, so that would be definitely in-depth study as well. So that will be definitely knowledge, giving you knowledge, more knowledge. Okay, so let's move ahead. I wandered lonely as a cloud, that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Okay, so this is the very first stanza of this particular poem. Let's move ahead with the first question. Where is the poet wandering? What did he see? Okay, before we begin with the answer of this question, I would like to ask you a simple question. Have you ever read any other poem by William Wordsworth apart from this particular poem called Daffodils? If you haven't, then please do read The Solitary Reaper as well. It's a beautiful poem again. Okay, so please do read Solitary Reaper. Please do read A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. And I think you have all. If you haven't read Dust of Snow by Robert Frost, you can read that as well. Okay, that is also having trend, I mean elements of romanticism. Okay, it is there in grade 10th. Okay, grade 10th CBSE syllabus. So I have all the videos uploaded, so please do go through that. Okay, if you go through the video also, you will be able to understand. It's a very short poem containing only two short stanzas, 8 lines. Okay, so please go ahead and read that. Okay, so coming back, guys, coming back, the poor William Wordsworth was wandering like a lonely cloud on the valley and hills. Very easy. Or the valleys, or the vales, or the hills. So very simple. Okay. While wandering, so definitely this is talking about his solitude. As I told you, wandering lonely as a cloud. So there's a comparison between the lonely clouds and the poet's loneliness. So solitude is something which the poet is emphasizing here as well. While wandering, he came across a host of golden daffodils near the lake and under the branches of the tree. So this is a very direct question, very textual question. Okay, so direct answer, guys. So you can definitely talk about the solitude. You can also talk about, if you want to enhance your answer, you can give one line from the theme, which is definitely his solitude and how nature helps him to overcome that solitude, and how nature, becomes a bliss of uh, uh, bliss in this particular, how nature becomes a blessing for the poet, and helps him overcome this loneliness. Okay, so this is definitely, and that is exactly why I'm telling you to cross refer to the poem by Robert Frost, Dust of Snow. Okay, so you will find similarities. Moving ahead, where are the daffodils? Very simple. The daffodils are by the side of the lake and under the trees, beneath the trees. Okay. The poet called them a crowd because they are packed tightly together. Host of golden daffodils. Okay, they are fluttering in the breeze as if they're sorry, they're dancing like human beings, expressing joy and energy. So here he is definitely sorry, talking about the joy associated with nature. So you can definitely write that. Because of course, um, daffodils daffodils, that is a part of nature. So it's definitely talking about the happiness that nature can give you. Okay, so if you're in close proximity, then definitely you will also be filled with daffodils. And the poet, by seeing the nature, seeing the daffodils dancing happily, dancing merrily, okay, he's also very, he is kind of influenced by it. Okay, and his solitary sorry, I am not well today. Sorry. Anyways, moving ahead. Let's move ahead with the next stanza. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Very important over here is 10,000 saw I at a glance. Here is a very important figure of speech called hyperbole. What is hyperbole? It is exaggeration. So he's exaggerating in order to emphasize, okay, in order to emphasize the beauty. And 10,000, I saw it's not possible that he was counting 10,000 daffodils, and it was of course not 10,000, but he saw a host of golden daffodils, right? So definitely he is he's in order to emphasize on the never ending daffodil stretched, okay, as far as his eyes could see. So in order to emphasize that side, he is using hyperbole. That's a very important figure of speech. So if you get a chance, please do mention it in your answers as well. Then, what is the similarity in the stars and the daffodils? So, very, very easy. It is the crowd of golden daffodils which the poet has seen by the side of the lake under the trees represent that there are many in number. So, that is why he has used. So, when you are saying that they are many in number, you can also mention hyperbole. Okay. So, the poet has used the figure of speech hyperbole to actually showcase the innumerable daffodils which were present. And therefore, the daffodils are compared to the stars in the Milky Way. So, just as there are innumerable, uncountable, infinite stars in the Milky Way, similarly, and also, the Milky Way is a cluster of stars which shine brightly in the space. Just like the stars, the daffodils are also uncountable. Okay, so you can also use, as I told you, 10,000 I saw at a glance. That's a hyperbole, and they are dancing with energy and joy in a never-ending line. This is how the poet has shown a similarity between the stars. And from among all the questions that we have done so far, this is an important one. So please pay attention to this. Okay, let's move ahead with the next stanza. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. The last line is very, very important for you to understand. Okay, so let's first see what are the questions from this particular poem, from this particular stanza. How did, this is also an important question. How did the daffodils outdo? Sorry, what did the daffodils outdo and how? Sorry, the daffodils outdid the waves in the lake. The poet says that there was a lake alongside the daffodils. The daffodils danced like human beings, expressing joy and energy. When the breeze blew over them, the waves too were dancing. Okay, but in front of the daffodils, they were not looking bright. That means if you compare the daffodils and the waves, it was the daffodils who outdid the waves. Okay, so who outshone. So you can say that the daffodils outshone the waves. Okay, instead of, oh yeah, so the poet mentioned that in spite of being pleasing, the waves could not compete with the beauty, with the unmatched beauty, you can write, you can use this word called unmatched beauty of the daffodils. All right, so this is an important question, so please be careful. I hope you are enjoying the session so far. And if you want to join us further, guys, you can please, sorry, you can take the help of the link which is there in the description box and pinned comment. Okay, so you can go visit that link and you can gain 100% knowledge and 100% marks. You have unlimited access to live classes with fun and high level quizzes. So guys, the difference between YouTube sessions and in our platform, that sessions which we take, is that there you have unlimited live classes, although here we are not able to provide so many live classes, so we have limited number of live classes for all of you, right? And quiz questions, yes, it's not possible in YouTube sessions to take quiz questions in every session, but there we do take quiz questions in each and every session, guys. Okay, and that too with fun and high level. And you can compete this with the students throughout the world. That's the best part. You can have interactive replays. So even the replays are not boring. If you switch on the replay, you can have the live quizzes there and also the leaderboard. So definitely this is going to be very helpful. You can download the content at the end okay, with handwritten notes of the master teachers. Just as I am writing here the notes, there also people write notes, and you can download those notes. That is very, very, very helpful, guys. And of course we have doubt solving. So the problem is your doubts. Sometimes your doubts do remain unsolved, right? It's not possible for one teacher to solve the doubts of so many people. So that is exactly the problem that we have solved in our platform, because we have class teachers based on the strength of the students in the class. We have a number of class teachers, so they will definitely solve all the doubts, okay, all the doubts that you have, right? So with assignments after each session, you have got assignments and also tests. We also take tests, so we give you the performance report of that test, and that is going to be really very helpful, because unless and until you practice, unless and until you revise, you will not face the confidence, and you keep on forgetting what we have learned so far. And assignments after each and every session is going to be helpful, because you will understand the concept which is being taught in the class very well if you solve the assignment. And if you don't, if you're not able to solve the assignment, that means you have some problem, you have some doubts. You can come back in the next class and clarify your doubts again. So that feature is something which is going to be very, very, very helpful to you guys. And free 5,000 plus courses, micro courses and crash courses for competitive exams, that too in less price. So just need to visit the link in the description box and use the coupon code SWREPRO. So this coupon code is now giving you 50% off, guys, from 11th to 14th Feb. It was there, but now we have extended this. So guys, we do not know how far is it going to stay. So please hurry up and don't miss this wonderful opportunity. Okay, because 50% off up to 1500, that is going to be super amazing, guys. That is going to be super, super, super exciting and also affordable. So I think we should not miss this chance. Okay, so you can see how the price has come down to this only 3.3 per class. So this is your time, guys, to devote your time on studies and to get a very good guidance. I don't think that you can get any other course cheaper than this. Okay, so guys, do not let go of this wonderful opportunity. So please do visit the link and use the coupon code SWREPRO in order to get 50% discount. Alright, guys. So now we come to the fifth question. What does the poet mean by a jocund company? Important question again. So when the poet saw the daffodils that stretched in a never-ending line, he was pleased to see them dancing as the wind blew over them. There was a lake alongside the daffodils which had waves dancing in joy. The poet was bound to be happy in such a joyful company, basically jocund, joyful company of the daffodils. So therefore he has described his experience. That means how could the poet not be influenced when he is seeing such a pleasurable sight? So definitely he is talking about the joy and happiness at the sight of this pleasant at the sight at this pleasant sight, okay, of the dancing daffodils. All right, so that's the answer, guys. Let's move ahead with the next stanza. For oft, now this is the most important stanza of the entire poem. Okay, for oft is often. Okay, for oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Okay, so here he is talking about how the nature is so very beautiful, and it's so very, it's like a rejuvenation. Okay, it gives you a rejuvenation. It's a rejuvenator. Okay, it gives you almost, it gives you freshness. It refreshes you. It gives you joy, even if your mood is somewhat not happy, or you are in a vacant mood, you are in a pensive is thoughtful mood. Okay, if you think about nature, The poet, when he thinks about the daffodils which he had seen, remember the poet is now not presently at that site. Okay, so he is talking about when he had already, he had come back to his home, and he is lying on his couch in a thoughtful mood. Even then, that memory of the daffodils, that is there present in his mind, and it gives him immense pleasure, immense, it fills him with pleasure. Okay, his heart is filled with pleasure, and it dances with the daffodils. So that is how it becomes a bliss of solitude. It's a blessing even in his solitude, because the memory is still fresh, and it gives as much joy as it had given when he was at that site, when he had visited that site where he saw the host of golden daffodils, where he had witnessed or encountered the host of golden daffodils. So you have to explain inward eye. What is the meaning of inward eye? So he is kind of getting spiritually connected with nature. So this is definitely talking about man, the nature bond. Okay. So here you have to also talk. You can talk about a little bit about William Wordsworth as a nature poet, how he worshipped nature. Okay. So definitely he was very fond of nature. He worshipped nature. He thought that nature is how nature is a healer. Okay. Okay, so all that you can definitely talk about, because this is a 4 mark, so definitely you can elaborate more on that. The phrase inward eye is referred to the imagination of the poet. Inward eye, of course, it's not the physical eyes, but it's the eye inside you, that is your mind, right? So imagination of the poet as he pictures. So inside his mind he is visualizing. You can pictures, or you can say visualizes. Okay, the dancing daffodils and the shining waves, which have become a beautiful memory of his life, right? So he is kind of revisiting again that beautiful sight. Okay, he uses this phrase as a metaphor in the poem as he imagines the golden. So see how it is mentioned, metaphor. So please do mention the figure of speech, the sorry, poetic devices, yeah, figure of speech, because it will be enhancing your answer, enhancing the beauty of the answer. Okay, so even when he is in a pensive or thoughtful mood, this is a sight. Okay, when he thinks about the sight of the golden daffodils, it again fills his heart with pleasure. All right, so that is the kind of bond that he has with that site. That is a kind of, so here definitely he's talking about the nature as a healer, which rejuvenates him, okay, which transforms his mind from a lonely and solitude, the mind of solitude, to a mind filled with happiness. So even in his solitude, this becomes his blessing. Okay, it's a bliss of solitude. Next and the last question is, describe the theme of the poem The Daffodils. Now this is the main concept. This is the main concept that you have to understand. If you understand this particular question, you can take points from here and add on to every answer that has been asked, every question that can be asked. Okay. So this is the central concept which you need to understand. So, the title of the poem is directly linked with the poet's personal experience in the field of daffodils. The poet is reflecting on his memory and describing it in the poem. The poet considers himself to be lucky because he is in the company of nature. So definitely he is fortunate. He considers himself to be fortunate in the company of nature, right? And then he has addressed nature as an exposed wealth. Definitely, as I told you, wealth. Okay, this beautiful sight that is considered as wealth because it is giving him the pleasure, the contentment, the satisfaction which he will never receive. With the which he will never receive otherwise. Any materialistic wealth is not going to give him this kind of pleasure. Okay, he remarks about the experience of witnessing such beautiful daffodils as abundance in wealth. It is the form of everlasting memory. So, as I told you, the last lines, even when he is in a pensive or thoughtful mood and he has come back from that side, even the memory becomes everlasting. It's never going to fade away from his mind. It is lasting in his mind forever, which can be used at any time in the future. Okay, throughout the poem, he has asserted that the daffodils are more than just flowers, definitely. The theme revolves around the influence of nature on the human mind. As I told you, how has the poet been influenced by nature, by the happiness around nature, and how nature has served to be a bliss even in his pensive mood, in his thoughtful mood, even when he is awakened. Okay, in and then specifies its healing path. As I told you, nature as a healer. Whenever the poet is not in a good mood, okay, he recalls the beautiful experience with daffodils, and his heart is filled with pleasure. So definitely, the theme of the poem is nature's beauty with a mix of happiness and loneliness. The poet is shown to be lonely when he thinks back to the daffodils dancing, he is happy and content. That is what I told you. Right? So, this is the complete poem in a nutshell, along with the theme. So, definitely the title, even if the title, even if you have a question related to the title, you can, use this particular content in order to answer that question with a little bit of change in the introduction and the conclusion, saying that how the title is intertwined with the theme of the, the poem, and then you move on to say this. So, this is basically the central concept. So please do understand this particular answer, and you will understand this is an umbrella answer. You can understand any other question which has been asked, right? So that is all. We have done the 3 and the 4 marks questions, guys, and this is the homework for you. How has the poet described the influence of nature on humans? Okay, so please do answer this in the question in the comment section. Do not forget. Okay, and the next session is going to be the the patriot, so please do not miss that again. I hope you had a wonderful experience and all your doubts are clarified. Okay, so I'm sure you're facing confidence with the Sprintex series going on. So please do not forget to visit the link in the description box and pinned comment. So now you are going to have the 50% discount, guys. So please do not forget that. So it's very, very, very reasonable. I don't think any course is as cheap as this one. So please, guys, go ahead, and this is the last chance. Okay, ninth and 10th. These are the two years that you have to give your 100%. Okay, for your future. So this is the best time to prepare for your future. Okay, so please do use the coupon code SWREPRO in order to gain the 50%, in order to avail the 50% off. And don't forget to hit the like button, share the video amongst your friends, also subscribe to the channel if you still haven't. So thank you, guys. Take care. Bye bye. See you all.